Welcome back to another exhilarating day on the channel. We have Trinity in the background here with his new purchase of an R32. This thing is auto. He's currently fixing it up, probably going to manual convert it for him. He's going to paint it and then he'll probably flip it. He likes doing that. Jacko's 33 here, and we got the Z in the background, in the air, on jack stands and logs, because we ran out of jack stands. Getting some work done. We've got to do the mani, we've got to do the exhaust, we're welding the diff today, and a bunch of other cool things. However, we've had some more cool parts come in for the JZ, so let me show you. So we've already got these, we've had these for quite a while, but we got in these little guys. I need some bolts for the valve covers and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I got these. They're actually for bicycles. So I don't know what they use on bicycles, maybe sprockets or I don't know, putting a frame together. Not sure, but you can get a whole bunch of really cool anodized aftermarket colored bolts and nuts and weird things for push bikes, strangely enough. We got a little purple sump plug. Now this is like, I think it's M12. Whereas most of them are M14, so I don't know if it's going to be too small or not, but I got it anyway. It was like $3, so why not? And for the fun part, where is it? There we go. I finally found my HKS cams. These were buried somewhere in my house. Now, you would have remembered I moved house not too long ago, and these were in a bedroom where the boxes were stacked to the roof. Took me ages, but I finally found them. These are brand new, never used, HKS 1JZ cams. I got them quite a few years ago, but I've never put them in a car, so they're still in their original boxes. They look cool as hell. This guy has the instruction manual still. But not only that, we also got in the eBay fuel rail, which is the same purple anodized as everything else. Not too bad quality. And it comes with all the blue fittings, same as the intake manifold. So, let's unwrap this guy and see what this is going to look like. I like this part. This is my favorite part. Apart from it running, I suppose. So, I put these on because we're kind of on a farm, so there's a lot of dirt and dust that gets floated around, even in the shed, so I don't want it flying out. There we go. This guy here looks pretty horrible and rooted. So the spring tensioner in it also is a bit cactus. So it's like, I think it costs like $50 to get another one, so it's not bad. The other thing I'm waiting on, I really didn't want to do it, but I had to do it anyway. This is my harmonic balancer. It is pretty cactus, so I'm gonna go an aftermarket balancer. The contrast really nice. Come to me, my precious. I think I found my new favorite color combo. Still have to paint these. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to sand them down, prep them and paint them and make them like a nice gloss, purple, blue, I'm not sure. Or, so what I am kind of thinking with these, and even the timing cover, the black timing cover that goes on the front here, is to prep them and send them off to a hydro dipping place to get the HKS livery hydro dipped onto the valve covers and onto the timing cover. Alright, so let's have a look at this fuel rail. So this is a no-name fuel rail. It's just a purple anodized fuel rail off eBay. Essentially, yes, I could buy a $250 brand name fuel rail, but it's going to do the exact same thing as this will, only this may or may not leak, potentially more. So that's the risk you run if you buy something like this. This is what you get with it. So you get these three little adapters. You get the bolts needed to space it off the plenum spacer just here. So it mounts up just here, here, then here. So I'm half watching the camera as I'm doing this, so I'm kind of disorientating myself. We got the fuel adapters here. Now these guys I will probably replace. These are, they could be good, but they might leak as well. So if they do leak, I'll go out and I'll buy Speedflow or Aeroflow or something. Same with the O-rings. These are all just China O-rings. So again, if you do install these,
basic lesson. Look after your This is not Trinity's fault either, he just bought this. We're going over to see what the other people have done.
Alright, hold on. Let's come back to this fuel rail thing. These guys are rage quitting over here. What is the matter?
Oh no, I just couldn't believe that the poor thing's been having to live a life with that filter on it.
It's an automatic 33. You think it actually got looked after?
Poor girl.
It will survive.
It will survive! I will survive! I'm gonna get flagged.
That's so much dirt.
Anyway, let's get back to this fuel rail. Are you guys good now though?
Hi.
Cool. Alright. Back to the eBay fuel rail. So we've got our little O-rings here. Again, like I said, these are eBay, so you never know what condition these are. They might be hard, they might be solid. Check that they're pretty malleable still, and they're not hard and ruined. Same with these guys, check you have all of these. Now, classic eBay, I had one of these floating around in the box when I bought it, so I've got to make sure I got everything here. Thankfully I do. These guys are pretty important. Then we've got these little stepper spacers here for the plenum spacer on the motor. And they put the little O-rings on the back of them here, and then they go straight into here. And they just sit in there like that. Some basic JZ tips for new players. This little guy here. When doing the timing on a JZ or replacing a belt, you've got a tiny little square marking indentation on the crank collar, and then you have a tiny dot above on the block. Which are those guys there? So you need to have them lined up. And then on the cams themselves, you've got these two guys up here. This one here, and this one here. Have your cams set. Now you can't put these cams on wrong. There is a locking pin underneath in the cams, so they don't go on sideways. There's no way you can screw up putting the cams on. You can only really screw up not having them aligned in the correct spot when you get your belt on. These terrorists found their issue. So what it was, what was your problem, Trin?
Split turbo pipe. Was the silicone pipe?
It was the factory rubber one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So his problem was he had no boost because the piping was cut straight through his rubber pipe on the hole right there. So they smoke tested it, figured it out, and are sorting that out now. So it wasn't your turbo. Are you glad you don't have to replace the turbo?
There's no guarantee yet.
Trinity's very horsepower hungry. Yes, I will not say no, please. Thank you very much.
One grease and coke.
Grease and coke. Wouldn't be a first. If this is your bread and butter, please ignore me, that's fine. But if you are semi-new to this and you do buy a whole bunch of cool parts and you're building a motor for yourself, make sure that no matter what, regardless if you bought these second-hand, brand new, no matter what, they're adjustable. Check that they're done up. So these have just come out of the box. I've put them on the car and I've just tightened them up, and all of them were able to turn probably that much. So they're all still, even though they were tight, were not tight enough, and that could cause some serious issues. Gotta check everything. You never know if you buy second-hand motors. Now for the grenade pin part. Timing. And oh, that was anticlimactic. It just adds tension onto here. So it goes ping, pushes the belt. What I'm doing at the moment is I've just pulled the valve covers back off, and I'm putting assembly lube all on the cam lobes at the moment, just to lubricate it back up. And then I'll dump a small trickle of oil across the top of the cams, just to get some oil on the top of the head before I turn over the timing, just to make sure everything's all good, nothing hits, everything's good, nothing's seized, etc. When I put this in the car, I'm probably going to do like a bit of a run-in, even though it doesn't need it. It's already a well run-in motor. I will do as if it was getting run-in. I'll put a bunch of oil in it, do a filter, run it for, I don't know, 100, 200 Ks, just enough to get it warm, hot, cold, bunch of heat cycles, and then I'll dump the oil and put some proper oil in it, probably a HKS filter, keep a little HKS, and yeah, and then send it to the dyno, get it tuned. Oh no! God damn it. I hit the hook. Curse of being left-handed. I smashed the bottle into this. It's like, douche. Does this make us upper class? Drinking tea while building JZs. Oh, what does Lamingtons? Woo! I love Lamingtons. Do you guys know what Lamingtons are? My Australian guys will, but any of my international guys, tell me if you know what these are. Yum yum yum. Trinity's predominantly welding now. Look how tiny it is. That is the diff of my 240Z. It's like the size of a pot plant. It's not even the size of like a size 8 shoe. Tiny little diff. I think we're waiting for it to cool down at the moment. Yes, we are. There you go. That's that little plate we made the other night. The first little plate's welded in. I have to grind down the other plate and weld it in on the other side. How to ruin a perfectly good diff and make it even better. I get distracted. I swear to God, I may or may not have ADHD. I get like easily drawn away from stuff. So apologies. Alright, I've just gone around one full rotation. We'll go around twice. For each time the cams go around once. Good tea. Alright, so for the guys that were unsure what I was doing there, especially if, again, anyone's girlfriends that are watching, if you would like to learn about motors, I hope you can find this beneficial. Keeping it nice and simple, what I was doing, making sure that everything was in line, all the timing was correct, and nothing was out a tooth. If it's out 1 tooth, 2 teeth, 3 teeth, you can blow a motor. Ended up back with these little notch on this collar here, and this little dot here, and that the cams are still lined up with the line that we were talking about earlier, which they are. So we've wound that around probably, I don't know, 10 times now, and it's in the same spot every time, which is great. If it was one tooth out, one of these cam gears would rotate slightly around, or the other one, or you know, that kind of thing, so you could easily tell if you get the timing right or wrong without throwing this all back together and into a car and then turning it on and blowing it up. We're going to move on to the Zed's fuel pump upgrade. Downgrade technically. I'm just going to thread tape some of these fittings to make sure that the fuel's not going to leak. Bit of orientation here. We're currently under the Z, pulling out the fuel pump, and we're going to replace it with the Aeroflow. However, just going to show you a couple of things. Please don't ever use these ever. Look what they do to the lines. Granted, this is a very old car, but you can see how much damage they do to a hose. This one is needing to be cut anyway because it's absolutely rooted. This is the cutter pump. This is pretty interesting. It's got weird little terminals on it. Check this out. Haven't seen these before. It looks like a speaker. I have not seen that style used before, much less on a fuel pump. So I've got the event coming up on Saturday. It's currently Wednesday. So we've got tomorrow, Thursday, to get the diff back into this and to do the manifold, which is currently up the front, and do the fuel pump. And hopefully, and the door. I have to do the door locking mech so I can actually shut my door again. Pull the shop.
I'm not looking at that, it's under the car.
No, it's right here. I'm showing the guys too. This is a fuel line that just came off the car. This is the factory fuel line from 1970.
From 1790.
1790, yeah. It fell apart in my hands pretty much. It's a good thing we're replacing this now. Whoever done the Carter was lazy and done this to it. I had a bit of a nightmare with some fitting sizes between the car and the fuel pump. I think the fuel pump was like bigger than 3/8 and the car is like 5/16, so completely different sizing. Lost my hose clamps, all that kind of thing, but it's in. I made the mounts, they're done. Finish off, like I said, diff tomorrow, all that kind of stuff. I won't bore you guys with more of an explanation. I'll just tell you that it's cold. And thank you very much for watching, and I hope you're enjoying the vlogs. I hope you're enjoying the motor, the 1J build, and fixing the 240Z. Gonna find out if it drifts in T-minus 2 days. If that sounds like something you'd like to watch, stay tuned and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching.